All right. It is a great day in South Florida. Welcome to Living in South Florida with Chris Igoe. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're brand new, well, you are welcome too. Today we are going to take a little coastal, and it's not probably going to be little, it's going to be long. And the reason for that is I'm going to tour from Pompano Beach to Boynton Beach, and I'm going to tour all of the coastal areas that exist. So this will probably be a lengthy video, but please stick around till the end because there is a massive payoff. We are going to see exactly what it's like to live in these coastal areas, and in addition to that, I'm also going to talk about some of the market dynamics that are inherent in the market right now, and some of them are not talked about. In fact, I have yet to hear I'm just trying to hold myself accountable to the truth here. I think I've heard one person talk about this dynamic, and now everybody knows there's inflation, right? Everybody knows that the Fed is tightening monetary policy. Everybody knows that they've printed trillions of dollars, insane amounts of money over the last few years to stimulate the economy. And now they're pumping the brakes, but they're not pumping the brakes. They're pulling the emergency brake to try and reel in the rampant inflation that is plaguing the market. And inflation is, obviously the increase. I don't know if it's obvious, but what it is the increased cost of goods and services, and that's impacting everybody across the board, right? So the cost for things that used to be much less expensive is now a lot more expensive, and I don't see that changing anytime soon, and neither does anybody else. But I don't hear them talking about it in the right way. So like the way I look how pretty this is. We're crossing over the Intercoastal Bridge. We're headed into Pompano Beach, and you can see all the boats, the Marina. I mean, this is an incredible place to live. But as we go from Pompano Beach into Boynton Beach, and we tour everything there is for you to see, what you'll notice, and I've talked about this in other places, is that these are all coastal communities, right? So to the east, you are going to be bordered by the ocean. There are going to be coastal communities and lifestyles that exist that are between the intracoastal, which we just passed, and the neighborhoods adjacent to that, and then that extend out to the beach. And to the ocean. So if you want to be in that prime location, you are certainly paying a big premium to live that lifestyle. Now, there are all kinds of different opportunities that exist in these coastal areas, right? In many of these neighborhoods that are adjacent to the intercoastal, you will have intercoastal access. So you can, in many places, have a boat. You can access the intercoastal. You can get out onto the ocean. You can live that nautical lifestyle. And it's an incredible lifestyle to live. That's why many people want to live here in South Florida. As you get closer to the beach, there are neighborhoods that are going to be across the street from the beach, or they'll be on the beach. Now, anything that you are looking at in those regions are going to be incredibly scarce. There will be tremendous demand, and it's going to be very pricey. And for the people who can afford it, they are happy to have the opportunity to live that lifestyle. Now, right now, as you can see, as we're driving by the beach down here in Pompano, everybody's outside living their best life, right? You got all these people biking. You got all these people. There was a yoga class that I just passed that was happening on the right on the beach. And you have these opportunities when you live here in South Florida. It is wide open. It is free. You've got an incredible fishing pier that's right here, an incredible beach, an incredible boardwalk. You've got everybody outside maxing out South Florida, living to the fullest. You can see there's beach volleyball. People are walking. This lady's walking her dog. Like, what a great place to live. It's 80 degrees out. It's Saturday morning. It's 10:30. And we passed the Marina, but there's tons of people that are out there on their boats, on their jet skis, on their I keep saying jet skis. I don't think anybody does a jet ski anymore, but on their wave runners. And you can see there's lots of development happening. We're going to continue to see all of that as we move and push into Palm Beach County. Right now we're in Broward, but you can see the Tiki Bar. It's going off. People are out there having a few drinks. It's 10:30. They're starting early, but you have the ability to do that, and it's phenomenal. All kinds of restaurants, all kinds of opportunities for you to lean in and max out your best life. And you see a rental truck. I don't know what they're doing. I don't think anybody is. You can go. Nobody's moving to the pier, but they might be moving stuff to the pier. But you can see, you've got Jamaica House to our left. There's going to be all kinds of condos, different price points across the board for different quality inventory. And that's going to range from something, affordable to something ultra premium, ultra luxury, ultra expensive. And the more we push into Palm Beach County, the more that's going to be true. Look at this guy. He's getting after it. All right, so away we go. Let's talk about the hidden tax of inflation, right? So there are all kinds of policy moves happening right now to curb inflation. The Fed increased their Fed funds rate by a half basis point, which is great. I don't think it's enough. So it's a half a basis point. They're not going to, allegedly, they're not going to do an intra-meeting intervention where they increase the rates. I think they should. I think the sooner the better, but yet to be determined. There are analysts that are calling for, and I think Jim Cramer went out there and said they should do a 75 basis point hike or 100 basis point hike. I'm not an economist. I don't know. I just know we have inflation that's going through the roof. And with that, the lending rates for a mortgage are going higher, right? And that trend is going to continue. And now they're still at historic lows relative to other points in history. But if you were banking on a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5% mortgage, and now it's 5.5%, and then it's 6%, and then it's 7%, you're priced out of the market, period. So does that impact you? I don't know. It might. Does that impact an affluent person who wants to move here? Probably not. There's a lot less rate hike sensitivity that exists for somebody who's got a lot of money than somebody who's on a tighter budget. So all things to consider. And you can see they're building new buildings. Building new buildings. That's a tongue twister. But you're going to see a lot of that because this is exactly where people want new, modern, luxurious oceanfront living options. And we're going to see a lot of that as we keep on trucking. All right, so we're going to keep on trucking. And we are headed into, you see the Marriott at Pompano Beach Resort. But all of these, to my right, everything that I'm passing is on the beach. It's right on the ocean. So it gives you the opportunity to max out that type of lifestyle, whether permanently or just on vacation and you're, but you're visiting a hotel or a resort. And there are lots of those opportunities. But back to inflation, right? So inflation is running rampant. The Fed's trying to play catch up and do what they need to do to try to curb that. Well, the government, and certainly no elected official is likely to get elected if they start talking about things like, we're going to increase your taxes. So that is not an election. That's not anything that's going to work or be accepted anytime soon, right? But the hidden cost, the hidden tax is inflation. And inflation is going through the roof. Gas is more expensive. Milk is more expensive. Cost of goods and services are more expensive. But what I don't see people talking about is some of the things that are very likely to happen as we go into next year. And it will have a major impact on a lot of people who are on a more fixed budget, right? And it's going to create some hard choices that must be made in terms of lifestyle and affordability, and whether they can continue to afford to live the way they are currently living with a tight budget. And what do I mean by that? Well, you might be locked into a fixed interest rate, which is fantastic. However, if the cost of groceries goes up 10x or 30x or 50x, well, it doesn't matter that you're locked into a fixed rate mortgage. That's fantastic if everything else is 10, 20, 30x, right? And at the end of the day, that pressure that it's going to put on the buying power and the cost of living for a lot of people is going to squeeze them out of, well, I'm not going to say it's going to squeeze them into or out of anything, because I don't know what that looks like. Again, these are like worst case scenarios, but they seem fairly obvious. And where am I going with this? Well, the Ukraine, which we all know what's going on over in the Ukraine, right? That is the major producer of grains on the planet. So, and I don't know exactly what the percentage is, and it's kind of irrelevant. It's obvious. They're the major producer of grains. Okay, well, that might not seem like a big deal, but if the people of the Ukraine are not doing that job because they are at war and they are defending their homeland, which they are. I mean, the bravery and the courage and the toughness and the will of the Ukrainian people is just admirable and unbelievable, and kudos to them. That's exactly what I would hope would happen, here in the United States. But nonetheless, they're not interested in going out and doing that job. They're going out there and they're defending their homeland. They're defending their family. They're defending their life. They're defending their lifestyle. They don't care about the next crop production cycle. Why would they? I wouldn't. And so what does that mean? It means that there's going to be less supply of those grains. Well, why do we need those grains? Why are those grains important? Well, those grains are important because the livestock around the world that eats those grains are going to be negatively impacted by the cost of that next crop, right? So what does that mean to you, the consumer? It means that at some point here in the near future, for you to buy meat, it's going to be significantly more expensive. And look at how beautiful this is. To our right, you got all of these incredible luxury homes that are right on the ocean, oceanfront living, and to the left you've got, and you can see these mansions. Look at the boats, look at the mansions. I mean, this is unbelievable and ultra premium, super nice, and this is what living in South Florida is all about for the affluent. Look, they're building a brand new home right on the ocean. That is incredible. And they've got the intercoastal access too. Those docks belong to them. And those boats belong to those homes, which is phenomenal, right? Across the intercoastal, the same thing. Look at these homes, look at these boats. This is the ground zero for ultra premium coastal lifestyle living here in South Florida. And this extends all the way down to Fort Lauderdale and into Miami and then up the coast too, right? Anything that's on the water in Florida that gives you coastal access is going to be ultra premium, super expensive. The condos are going to be a lot more affordable, but it's going to be, I mean, you got a lot of old buildings, you've got some newer buildings. The newer buildings obviously are going to be more modern, more luxurious, more expensive, right? And that's just the way it goes. But we are trucking on down A1A, and I'll have the GPS going so you'll be able to see all this. But just look at the tremendous affluence that exists down here in this coastal section. And that's going to be the way it is across the board throughout any of Florida, anything that's got a coastal vibe, that's near the ocean, that lets you have that lifestyle, ultra premium. Now, I love going down these down A1A on this tour, and I love the canopied effect that you get from the trees on either side. But you'll notice these mansions that are on the ocean are private, they're gated. In some cases, you can't see them at all. They're totally secluded. They take their security very seriously. Look at these boats. It's ridiculous. Ridiculously awesome. But we're going to keep on trucking, and we're going to keep on talking about some of these. That lot. Ooh, that lot's for sale. That lot's expensive. And there's going to be a spec home there if it's not already bought out by by one of the homeowners next to it, because they want that land too. They want that privacy too. In some cases, really depends on your budget and what kind of lifestyle you want to live. Many of these homes, as you go into Palm Beach County, are going to be legacy homes. They are going to have been in the family for generations, and it is old money, and they maybe never come to those homes. But it is old money. So you're going to see lots of that. And so there's everything you could possibly want, whether it's a townhome, a condo, an apartment, a resort for, a hotel. You're going to have all of that up and down the coast, and it's going to be phenomenal. But what I want to showcase is what it's like living here, right? So I've done video tours like this in the past. I haven't done them with the 360s. So if there's an area that you're interested in, or you've got questions, then definitely check out the playlist, because it is almost certain that I have done content to showcase the area that you're interested in. And if I haven't, then leave that content request, and I will absolutely do it as soon as I can. But we are headed up the road. Hillsborough Beach and Yacht. Hillsborough Imperial East. We're trucking. We're going to make our way into Deerfield Beach, and then Boca, and then Highland Beach. Eventually we'll get to Hypoluxo if I go that far. And Boynton Beach, Delray Beach, Boynton Beach. We're gonna hit all of them. But right now we're trending into Deerfield Beach, and there are coastal communities that are right off of the intercoastal, on the other side of the intercoastal, where I've done tours in there too, where you're going to find more relative affordability for older homes. Some of them will have been upgraded and improved. Others of them won't have been. And there are opportunities to max out this lifestyle at a more affordable price. Don't get me wrong, you're still paying a premium, but there are pockets of opportunity that exist. Ooh. How terrible would it be if I just caught a car accident on this tour? I would not want to see this. I don't think you would want to see this, but you got idiot drivers everywhere. And this place is no exception. All right, so Deerfield Beach, pros and cons as we trend into it. So you can see you're going to see, especially on the weekends, it's almost 11 o'clock on a beautiful Saturday morning, 85 degrees out. It is going to be mobbed. There's going to be lots of traffic. There's going to be lots of idiots on scooters and motorcycles zipping in and out. You're going to see lots of people, and you can see them now on their bikes. These guys are rollerblading. You're going to see all kinds of that, right? So there's a peloton of bikers that are coming in. Lots of bike clubs will meet in the morning, and they will travel in packs in their peloton, which makes them think they own the road, and sometimes drivers are just not paying attention. So it's not necessarily the safest thing to do, but there are, I have found in my journey of training for triathlons, if you go earlier, there's a lot less traffic, but right now there's going to be a lot of traffic. It's 11 o'clock. So you're going to experience that with me, which is about as fun as a root canal, but nonetheless, here we go. So we are now coming up on Hillsborough Boulevard. We're going to go so you got the Cove section off to my left. If we were to make a left onto Hillsborough, you've got the Marina right there. And we're not going to do that. We're going to keep on trucking. and it's going to take you to Deerfield Beach. Is super fun, right? This is where when I lived out in Parkland, and I was much younger, this would be the beach that I would go to, and it looked nothing like this then, but it was the spot to be. This is where I'd go to the beach. You could pick up a game of beach volleyball, almost any time of the day. Down there in Pompano Beach, they got basketball courts. This guy really wants to get hit. I hope I do not catch that on the video. But you can see there's lots of people walking around. So got to be mindful. Got to keep your head on a swivel. Got to be aware of what's happening around you so you don't run anybody over. Evidently, I'm the only one who seems to be doing that. But this guy here, you can see he's got a surfboard strapped to his car. He's going to go out there and max out South Florida living. It looks, well, there's a small board, so I'm assuming it's him and his child. Or perhaps his... Oh, no. Do not disturb needs to be on. Or perhaps it's his, his midget one. Oh, God, why do I say these things? I'm sure he is not married to a little person. I'm sure that is just his his kid. Up here, we got the Deerfield Beach Cafe. We've got the pier. We've got, this place is just mobbed right now. You've got all kinds of bars and restaurants, all kinds of cool things that exist in basically any coastal community. So Oceans, Oceans 234 is phenomenal. You're going to have live music, great food, and then JB's on the beach, same thing. Really nice. There's a great boardwalk. You can see the pavilion right there. And then right across the street, you've got an older building, Tierra East. Now, it is factually true that many, many years ago, I almost bought a condo in there. And I wish I bought it. Now, hindsight being 2020, because that thing would have been a cash cow and income stream for life, but nonetheless, coulda, shoulda, woulda. We're going to keep on trucking. And that same logic that I just said applies to you too if you're looking for a long-term play. Anything by the coast is going to be, anything on the ocean is going to, over time, be a great investment. Now, let's keep on trucking. Where was I going with this tour? Yeah, inflation. So, how is this hidden tax that is going through the roof that everybody is aware of, but I don't know that they're thinking about it the same way I am, when the cost of grains to feed the livestock that produces the food that you buy in the grocery on a regular basis, when the cost of that is 10x what it is right now, and the cost of your groceries are 10x what they are right now, what does that do to your financial bottom line and your ability to live the life that you want? I don't know. I simply don't know. And I don't know what it is for you, and I don't know what it is for other people. But I suspect what's going to happen is when that starts to be true, and when the media starts to cover some of the stories that are certain to exist, whether they exist here in South Florida or in Idaho, it doesn't matter. As soon as the media gets a story that the market is crashing anywhere, that's going to be the narrative that people run with. And what happens from there? Well, you got South Inlet Park on the right, which is not what happens from there. I just wanted to point it out as we make our way to so we just went from Deerfield Beach into Boca Raton. Right now we are passing the Boca Inlet. We're going to go over the Boca Inlet. And if I made a left here, we would be going out on Camino Real, which would take us to Federal, which would then take us close to, not close to, that's downtown Boca. But it would take you to Meisner Park. It would take you to the heart of some of the most affluent sections within Boca that exist, but the condos that are here on either side or on Lake Boca, and you can see all of the boats that are out there, that's going to be ultra premium, ultra luxury, ultra expensive. You're paying a premium to live in this area, and everything is super nice. So we're going to keep on trending down A1A, and you can see a lot of these buildings have been here forever. And when I say forever, they've been here for a long time. Something that somebody asked me about recently was, well, is it safe in these buildings? And they brought up what happened in Miami, and the building imploded. Well, that can happen, as evidenced by it happened. But most of these buildings have been, at least in Southeast Palm Beach County, they're very conscious of the building quality, and they do upgrades and improvements to the structure of the building. Look at how pretty this is. You've got these beautiful homes that are right here on Lake Boca, that are right next to the inlet and Lake Boca, and you are going to pay a premium to live here. Anything in this coastal area is going to be super pricey, super expensive, and an incredible place to live. Where was I going with this? So we're headed up to Palmetto Park. If we made a left, we would be headed west, and we would be right there in Camino Real, in downtown Boca, in very close to Meisner Park, and everything that you could ever want as it relates to maxing out Boca living and lifestyle. But the beach here to our right, you can see there's a little playground there that's shaded. It's a lot of fun. That beach is phenomenal, and you can see people are walking around, they're living their best life. You're going to see lots of that as we matriculate headed north on A1A. Where was I going with this? I completely lost my train of thought. Inflation, grains, 10x groceries, and 10x gas, 10x all these other things. When inflation gets to a point where it cripples you financially, then what happens? People are going to be forced to make decisions that they either pay their house payment or car payment or whatever it is, or they feed their family. And when that happens, you're going to see lots of people hit the market selling their home. Which is a good thing if you're looking to buy. We've been in a seller's market for so long that it's been a long time since we had anything that looked like a buyer's market, right? So what do I consider to be a healthy market? Well, 4 or 5 months inventory to me is a far more healthy, far more balanced market. And a buyer's market is defined as 6 months or more of inventory available, period. So right now, in certain places within Palm Beach County, the areas that I service, there's less than 2 weeks of inventory. In some places, it's even worse than that. But by and large, it is a unhealthy market. It is a seller's market, and I don't see anything that's changing that anytime soon. But I'm going back to the other extreme, right? So the other extreme is people are forced to make decisions based on financial pain that is created by inflation, and they're going to sell their homes because they need to tap out the equity that's in the homes. Now, this is not the same thing as 2008, right? It's just not. The lending standards have changed so much since then that almost every homeowner that owns a home is sitting on a ton of equity. So that means they will have to sell, and that will free up inventory, which will turn it from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Now, a lot of people have talked about, well, people won't do that if the interest rates are higher. That's nonsense. People who need to sell and need to buy will sell and buy because they want to or need to, period. Whether the market goes up or down, real estate will always trade, period. So that's just the way it goes. There's always it's always a good market for somebody, and people make decisions because they have to, or they want to, right? So the fact that people are talking about interest rates have risen and that's going to freeze up the market, baloney. That's a mindset issue, because I know for certain there are people who own homes that they have outgrown at interest rates that are far more favorable than what the current market is. And because they want to move and need to move because they've outgrown their current situation, they're willing to do whatever they have to get into their best life now. they don't put off those changes. And also, they've got options. They don't necessarily have, not everybody, it's going to be applicable to whatever your circumstances are. But if somebody owns a home at, I don't know, 3%, and they've got a ton of equity, then they'll rent that property and use the overage to cover some of the new purchase at a higher rate. There's all kinds of different options that exist. But the idea that it's going to crash the market because interest rates are high, in some places that may be true. I don't think it's true here in Southeast Palm Beach County. But all right, so you see, look at the people running, people out here maxing out South Florida living. Spanish River Park is awesome, right across the street from the beach, and you can see all those blue umbrellas. This is a great place to come to the beach. You can see the police presence out here. This is going to be a lot lower key than Deerfield Beach. It's still a lot of fun, but Deerfield Beach is a lot more wild than Boca Raton. Delray Beach is going to be a lot more wild than Boca Raton. Fort Lauderdale Beach is going to be a lot more wild than Boca Raton or Boynton Beach, or maybe Delray Beach. I don't know. Delray can get it's actually, I take that back. Fort Lauderdale is going to trump all those as far as wildness is concerned, but they're all fun places to live. They're all different experiences, and there's pros and cons to each. But we're going to keep on trucking and make our way down the road on this beach tour. And where was I going with my train of thought in terms of people selling, or the potential for people to sell? So what I also expect to see happen is, as the media starts to run with the story and run with the narrative that the real estate market is crashing, that is going to, the perception becomes the reality. Once that news starts to hit, do I expect there's going to be, because I know for certain, even within my own subdivision where I live, in Canyon Trails, there's no inventory, right? But I know of at least 30 people thinking about selling. That's not true. That is not true. 30 is too much. I'm in 30 conversations with people who are thinking about selling, but of those 30, there's probably 4 that are much closer than the other people that I'm talking to. But my point is, lots of people, almost anybody who owns a home, is thinking about selling. Well, what happens when that narrative changes and the media starts talking about, it's the market's crashing? Well, you're going to see the people who are on the fence get off the fence and want to tap into their equity, tap out on their equity, and make hay while the sun is shining. That's going to happen. Mark my words, that is absolutely going to happen. Now, what makes this market different than previous markets in the past? What makes this market different than 2008? Well, in 2008, you had lots of people who had bought homes, whether they were investors, flippers, wholesalers, whatever, it doesn't matter. You had lots of people who bought homes on pure speculation and didn't have the financials to actually carry those homes. So when the market turned, they got out of those homes or walked away from those homes as quickly as possible and got themselves into a rental, because a rental was a lot less expensive than carrying the debt burden of that home. That's not true today. Now, the rental market is insane. It is very expensive to rent a home. So people will not be walking away from their homes and going into a rental. I don't believe that's going to happen at all. Now, do I think, but what does that mean? It means they're going to sell their home. It means we're going to see more inventory, which will absolutely, in my opinion, be absorbed by the demand that is pent up that exists in the market. So until that oversupply and demand, or the supply and demand ratio levels out, it's still going to continue to appreciate in the market, right? And my belief is that the demand is so much greater than the supply that even if we do see lots of sellers come to the market, it's not going to crash the market. It's just going to become a normal market with normal appreciation and a more balanced market, a healthy market. I want to see that. That's what my hope is. But yet to be determined. I could be wrong. Who knows? Do I believe that there are going to be investors and even institutional investors that are out there that may want to unload some of their inventory? Yeah, I think so. What does that mean for you? It means that you'll have an opportunity to buy your home that you've always wanted and not have the insane dynamics that exist right now, which is right now, if you want to buy a home in Canyon Trails, which is where I live, it is absolutely certain that there's, 10, 20, 30, 50 other people that want to buy that home too. So when that happens, you're going to pay a premium and you're going to have a bidding war, and it's going to be difficult for you to win the bid and get that home. Well, if there's 30 homes that are for sale, which I don't foresee it ever being that high, but in a more balanced market, if there are more options for you, there's less competition, the inventory gets normalized, the demand for the inventory gets normalized, and you get to buy your dream home, period. Now, that's great. What do the interest rates look like when that happens? I don't know, but they're going to be higher than they are right now. So, all that being said, what does that mean for you? I don't know. It really depends on what your circumstances are. And I never try to, in fact, I never talk anybody into doing anything. What I always do is learn what's best for you, what it is you want, and then do my best to advocate on your behalf to create the deal that you want. So that is what we specialize in, and that's what we will continue to do. But we are going to continue to keep on trucking. 84 degrees, Saturday morning. People, you can see every parking lot is completely maxed out. Look at these homes on the intercoastal. This is South Florida living, to its fullest. Now, what you might notice is you'll see some older homes, you'll see some newer homes, and then you'll see some new construction homes being built right now. That is going to be the case really everywhere. So there are pockets of inventory that exist that are older, or inventory, that's the wrong word. There are sections within all of South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Lighthouse Point, Pompano Beach, Delray Beach, Boca Raton, Boynton Beach, the list goes on and on up and down the coast. But you're going to find older homes that are original. Look at these, welcome to paradise. I'll pivot the 360 in either direction. It's just opulence, affluence, dripping from either side of the water, the beach or the intercoastal. This is the best of the best. This is ultra premium. But where I was going with that is there are some, older homes, older owners that are thinking about selling, and you're going to pay a premium for that opportunity, and then you can come in and knock that house down and build a new one. You're seeing lots of that, and I think I'm speeding, and I will definitely get pulled over. If there's one thing that the Popo does not like on a busy Saturday morning, it's somebody who is speeding and paying more attention to the content that they're creating than the road. So, bad Chris. All right, to our right, you've got, I believe that was the Breakers in Delray. I could be wrong. But we're headed into Delray, and this is going to be ultra premium, ultra coastal lifestyle, and incredibly beautiful, and an incredible place to live. So we're passing Linton Boulevard right now, and same old story. We make a left, you're going to find homes and neighborhoods that are off the intercoastal, that you're going to find all kinds of different opportunities for different products. They're going to be pricey because you're paying that premium to have access to downtown Delray, to coastal Delray. You've got Atlantic Dunes Park that we're about to pass right now. You can see the parking lot. And now we're going to see some spec homes being built, contract pending. You see it right there. Lots of that. Another spec home that's finished right next to it. Another ultra premium home here to our right. And it's just up and down the coast. You're going to find incredible incredible properties, incredible lifestyle. Look how, I mean, you can't even see the home. It is buried behind all kinds of privacy, and it's gated, and it's secure, and it's incredible. But this is South Florida living to its fullest. Look how pretty. All right, but we are making our way into, I'm really hoping that the 360 cam is doing this tour justice, because these homes are so magnificent that, I mean, it's just breathtaking. All right, got another one being built right here, and we're gonna head into Delray Beach. I mean, we're in Delray Beach, but we are headed to the beach, which you will see once we pass these homes that are all sick. You've got the Sea Gate, which is super nice. To our left, after this, you're going to see a historic section of coastal Delray Beach, where there are single family homes that are, once we pass the park. And I've done some content showcasing some of these homes in the past, but we're going to keep on trucking. And now Delray Beach is incredible, right? They've got a huge strip of sand so it's a very wide beach, and not all sections of the beach are wide sections of the beach. Delray Beach has a wide section of actual beach, so you can get a lot of people there, and you can see that the beach is completely full. It is challenging to get parking if you are coming to the beach, so my best advice is, you got Sandaway Discovery Center to our left, which is super cool. But if you want to come to the beach, get here early. Get a prime parking spot. Yes, there is parking that you can, bigger parking buildings that exist on Atlantic Avenue, which means you then have to take a walk to the beach, and nobody wants to do that. So get here early and park in one of these spots, and then feed the meter, and you'll be good to go. And all of that is done now through an app, so not very hard. These restaurants are great. You've got the Tiki Bar, you got Boston's, you've got Luna Rosa. I have done content down here before, so you can check out the playlist to see a more comprehensive tour of Atlantic Avenue, and also some of those historic homes that are right here on the strip across the street from the beach. Super, super nice, super pricey. And you can see there's plenty of people out here living their best life, enjoying this 84 degrees. You can see the boat out there. I mean, there's tons of people that are just maxing out South Florida living, and this is why you want to live in South Florida. This is why people are willing to pay a premium to live here, to max out this coastal lifestyle. Now, Delray Beach, especially downtown Delray Beach on Atlantic Avenue, is unique in that it is a different vibe from many other places. Super trendy, super hip, super fun. I'm not going to run these nice ladies over because I'm paying attention to the road, not just the camera. But it's an artistic, eclectic vibe that exists down here. And they have tons of fairs, tons of art exhibits and galleries and stuff like that. They'll have art fairs and concerts, and anything you could possibly want is going to exist in downtown Delray Beach off of Atlantic Avenue. Anything that's walkable to that is going to be ultra premium, ultra in demand, ultra expensive, and totally worth it. All right, I have planted myself right into massive traffic. Okay, so you know what? I am going to cut this tour shorter than I had anticipated, unless this thing keeps on. If I'm not stuck in traffic, I may extend this a little bit longer. But I suspect that. Oh, look at that guy throwing his bike. Well, temper tantrums exist everywhere. So if you want to throw your bike and have a hissy fit, you're welcome to do so, unless you got hit by a car, in which case I understand what just happened. Oh, man. So I'll tell a little story here. When I was training for triathlons, I would do long bike rides to train for them, and a few times I drove my bike from Delray all the way up to Jupiter, and it was like a 100-mile bike trip, all encompassing, so up and back, so 50 plus mile. Actually, it was more than 100 miles, but 50 plus miles there and back, right? So north of 100 miles total. And what happened? That's a lot of biking. It is very tough, and it is very dangerous, because even if you start super early, which I did, where it's completely blackout and cooler, when you come back, it's going to be very trafficked. There's going to be, you can see what the traffic conditions are, and not ever so they're building. Yeah, they are. And you're going to see anything that's coastal, anything that is going to give you an opportunity to, okay, pal. So we were talking about people paying attention to driving. That includes me. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so driving there, 50 mile plus up, 50 plus miles back. Not ideal traffic conditions, totally not safe. Lots of people distracted driving. And I would average something north of 20 miles an hour on the bike. I don't exactly remember what, and I'm not trying to brag. I think I probably got close to 30 miles an hour on my trek. But when you blow a tire and you're exhausted, and the guy threw his bike, that's where I was going with this. I blew out my tire towards the end of the trip, and when you blow out a tire on a bike or on anything, and you're in less than ideal traffic conditions, you're gonna have some form of accident. And that's exactly what happened to me. Frank McKinney's house we just passed, my good friend, he just sold that home, but on either side of the street you can see incredibly luxurious homes that allow you to live the most opulent, luxurious coastal lifestyle that you could possibly dream of, and you've got access to all the best things that exist down here. But back to my tire blowout and that guy getting frustrated and throwing his bike. I did the same thing. So I'm driving, I'm exhausted, I'm fried from the sun, I'm totally dehydrated. Traffic is very narrow. You got to have supreme awareness to what's going on around you, and yet you're still cranking out as hard as you possibly can to get the best training that you can in, and then your tire blows out. And fortunately I didn't wipe out, but I did have to you get so focused on the outcome and the goal of finishing the ride that when the tire blew out, I did the exact same thing. Long way of saying I empathize with that guy. I have no idea what happened. I made up my own story as to what happened to him, just sharing my experience. You're at the very end of the ride. You are almost at what you have decided is your stopping point or your finish line, and then then life happens. You get a flat tire, and the best I could do at that point was pick up my bike and throw it in the grass, because how dare it fail me. Well, my confession is over, and thank you for joining me for my therapeutic release. But we're gonna keep on trucking, all right? So nobody cares about my bike story. To my left, you can see there's a golf course. To my right, you can see part of the continuation of that golf course. This is the some of the most exclusive golf that you could ever have, or you could ever experience right here in this private golf community. And you can see all of these homes, all of these mansions, all of these different buildings are right there on the ocean, right here in the heart of Delray Beach, and just extremely pretty, extremely geographically desirable, and super expensive. So you already know that. You know that going in. Anybody who's looking in this area knows that they are this is a very select, discerning shopper, and they get what they want when they want it. What they don't necessarily have is the option, because there is very little inventory, like this that exist. There's scarcity. And that's true everywhere. So, obviously coastal opportunities are going to be very scarce, but that's true everywhere in Southeast Palm Beach County and Broward. There is no more land to develop. There's only, in Southeast Palm Beach County, there's less than 2 square miles, and again, they're not next to each other, they're scattered and dispersed all over the place, that are zoned for residential development. So little drips and drabs of less than optimal or less than desirable land, because if it was desirable, it would have been bought out instantly. But there's no more land to develop. So what do we see? We see either spec building and people going out there and buying older homes, knocking them down, building the home of their dreams, and that's happening all over the place. Or you see builders going out there and finding whatever's left. So for example, Lotus Palm, the GL went out there and got the rights to be able to buy the Boca Municipal Golf Course. Well, it was a failed course, and now they're going to max out that land. You're going to see more of that in different places, because that's really the only land that's left. And to get that land that's either although they'll probably go after that too, reserve land, that becomes a political game, and who's able to pay off the municipality to get what they want. But that's a different conversation for a different day. At the end of the day, what I'm saying remains true. There's no more land. And because of that, I believe that will insulate this region from the dynamics that will exist in other places where there is more land. All right, we're passing the Nomad Surf Shop, and we're going to pass Briny Breezes, which this is a perfect example of what I was talking about. So Briny Breezes, you can see these are mobile homes, and it's a mobile home community. Now, that community of Briny Breezes, and it's its own municipality, developers have been trying to buy that forever. And at one point, this is not recent, there was a major push to pay each of those individual mobile homeowners, I think it was, and I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was something close to $1 million each for their mobile home lot. And they said, hell no, we're not doing it. So they fought that tooth and nail. But that gives you an example of, that is prime time real estate that a developer would love to get their hands onto. Good luck. There is no more. There's certainly no more coastal land, and there's very few other opportunities that exist. So we're pulling up to Woolbright, and we are making our way into Boynton Beach, and we will conclude our tour when we get there. But as we get to Boynton Beach and Oceanfront Park, you can see to my right there's some neighborhoods that exist, ultra premium, super expensive. To my right, same thing. But back to Briny Breezes, it's a perfect example of what I was saying. There is no more land to develop. So any opportunity, anytime the market hates uncertainty, the market loves weakness. And so if there is weakness in the market, and what I mean by that is if there is a place where there is an opportunity for someone to swoop in and make a deal happen, like at the municipality, I'm making up words, at the municipal golf course that was failing, they're going to swoop in there and they're going to max out that land. Everyone is always looking for an opportunity to maximize the highest and best use of land. And so if there is weakness within any municipality, that's where I was going, it's going to be sniffed out quickly, and it's going to be maxed out quickly. So anytime you see anything like that, just know that somebody is out there eyeing it aggressively, and there's probably 10 people behind them that are also doing the same thing. All right, now we're back into mansion mode. Look at these homes. This is incredible. You got Pelican Cove to my left, also very nice community. But to our right, anything that's on the ocean here is just ridiculous. And to my left, another brand new home that's super nice. And now we are almost at Oceanfront Park, and you have probably seen these tours before. If I made a left down Ocean Avenue, you are at the Boynton Beach Marina. You've got two Georges, you've got the banana boat, you've got the opportunity to rent a boat, charter a boat, have your own boat. We're going to go up to the inlet where you can launch your own boat. But this is South Florida living to the fullest. And to my right, I love this home. It's still a lot of work being done to it. But now we're in Hypoluxo. But Ocean Ridge. If we kept on going, we'd be in Hypoluxo. But I'm going to pull into... Actually, I'm not going to pull into Oceanfront Park. Oceanfront Park is owned by Boynton Beach, even though we're in Ocean Ridge, and I'm talking out both sides of my mouth. I am going to wrap this up at Oceanfront Park. If we kept going, we'd go to the inlet, but I know I'm going to get stuck in traffic up there, and I don't want that, and you probably don't want to watch that either. So, let's get one little glimpse of the beach here, because this is super nice, and then I'll wrap this up. This is Oceanfront Park. This is my favorite beach to come to. I come here in the morning. A perfect day for me looks like me waking up super early, coming out here, watching the sunrise, going about my day, and then at the end of the day, taking the family out to the Everglades, to Loxahatchee State Park to watch the sun set. And that is South Florida living to the fullest. So if you're even thinking about moving to or living in South Florida, you've got to give me a call. Text, DM, send a carrier pigeon, a smoke signal, by any means necessary. Because we've got your back when it comes to moving to or living in South Florida. And until next time, peace!